Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. I've been pretty lazy and overworked and not able to edit a video, but here's TikTok live discussion that I had that I thought you guys might like. So here goes. Inshallah, Raqqa Deir ez-Zor next. The rest of the Northeast. Allah khalasna min SDF. But it's like pulling teeth, man. It's gonna be very difficult. And it depends on the US, like what their plan is with SDF. Since the start, it's really, I mean, it's not really a win, bro. It's like two neighborhoods that were occupied by SDF. Yeah, like, so Aleppo is a big city and mostly under like Syrian government like control, but there's these two neighborhoods, Sheikh Maqsood and Ashrafieh, that were under SDF control. They said that they withdrew and only their police forces, like they call them Asayish, were there. But like it's pretty clear like there were some SDF soldiers there too. And yeah, like I saw videos of them on buses now, all evacuating to Northeast probably. So it's all been cleared up. And there's like security sweeps going on to make sure there's no remnants left or any weapons and stuff. And they found booby traps too. I saw videos of like Qur'ans that were booby trapped to explode, you know. Ahlan wa sahlan.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Not much. Nice to officially meet you.
Nice to officially talk. Hayyan. Where from Syria are you from, by the way?
Damascus and Dimashq. What about you?
Dimashq, same here.
Right now, my mom's actually going back in on Tuesday.
To Syria?
Yeah, she's going because like they're selling some, and then she has to like sign some documents and stuff.
Have you been back since Tahrir?
No, unfortunately, I'm trying to get the money for it, but can't quite save up.
You have to, bro. I went back for my first time in May, like last year.
Nice.
It was amazing, bro.
Nice. Did you go to anywhere else other than Damascus?
بصراحة يعني I wanted to, but I was with my parents and they told me you can go wherever you want with whoever you want. You just can't leave Damascus, like the governorate. So I pretty much just, yeah, like for safety reasons and, you know, just to be like on the safer side.
I wish I could tour around like all of Syria. I want to see it like every.
That's my goal next time, inshallah. Like I wanna see other provinces for sure.
Inshallah. And I'd love to see like the Golan, bro. It's I heard it's so beautiful. And did you actually hear the news that apparently there's gonna be like a joint Israeli Syrian ski resort project that's gonna happen in the mountain, and I think.
Is that going to be joint? Like, is the Syrian government in on it as well?
It's going to be a Syrian-Israeli joint initiative by the locals, though. Like, I think it's mostly druze citizens. So
not the actual government.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's going to be a government thing, but it's like I mean, hopefully at least it means Syrians can go visit like Golan because like we've been deprived of it, and it's.
I mean, that would be cool, but to be honest, I don't know how I feel about that.
Of course, you know, working cooperation. Like if we become like Jordan and we officially recognize the Israeli government, that's a pretty sad reality. That if that does take place, but you know, it opens up a lot of possibilities to like, you know, there's still ways to resist diplomatically or politically without using Syria as a base, like to cause terror, like in Lebanon.
No, that's true. I feel like I never want any diplomatic relations with Israel, but at the same time, if we do establish it, it'll be very beneficial, like even for Syria as well. I feel like a lot of the internal issues that are happening right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Israel is behind it, to be honest, just to kind of, you know, like force the government into some sort of agreement and to cooperate like with their terms and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, it's a lose-lose situation with Israel, you know, especially when you border them. Yeah, because they wanna keep their borders safe, and Syria is a big threat. Yeah, like as a bordering country as well. So, and people don't realize that
isn't just like an answer, like a panacea. It's not going to fix everything because Sudan, I think, recognized them, and they still went through a civil war right after. And I think Israel is on either side of those of the ones, and is I don't know if Somalia has ever recognized them, but now Somaliland has got that recognition from them too. So like yeah, it's not as if like yeah, I think they did it in exchange for sanctions relief at the time, like Sudan,
Right.
and Bahrain and Maghreb and all these other countries too. But
Hmm.
yeah, like Syria's made it clear we're not going to normalize or anything until they at least withdraw from like to the 1974 ceasefire lines.
Right, right.
They've made that clear on like several occasions.
So then that would include the Golan Heights, or not the Golan Heights. That would include Mount Hermon
Yeah,
and
but
the
they have
buffer
to,
zone in the
but they're
peninsula.
never going to do that because like even in Lebanon right now, they occupy 5 hilltops. They like to get the higher ground so that they can just look down on everyone and observe and then sometimes they go down and arrest people and say they're networks of militias or whatever, but it's all BS. It's
Hmm.
just to control the border and to have the higher ground. So I
Right.
don't know if they're ever going to let it go because even the U.S. like the U.S. is actually on our side in my opinion. They're trying to impose like Sharaa on Israel and like tell them like to play nice because they're acting like a pariah state and like messing with all their neighbors and stuff and uh, I also saw news that they're trying to wind down reliance on U.S. aid, and Senator Lindsey Graham was like, "Oh, if like because like Netanyahu said, well, by 10 years we hope to be completely independent, like not relying on U.S." And Lindsey Graham was like, "Oh, if you don't want to rely on us anymore, like we'll cut that down. It doesn't even have to be 10 years. It can be much sooner.
Hmm.
So we'll see what their foreign policy or what their policy is going to be like if the U.S. is actually independent from because mostly they act like completely as one. But I'm seeing like a little difference in their policies these days.
Yeah, I mean it's confusing to be honest. You don't know what to expect with them
Yeah.
because, yani, like you said, the way we've always seen it, it's like the U.S. or Israel is essentially the U.S. in the Middle East, right?
Hmm.
But it's like now with them wanting, like peace and everything. Because Israel, like the way I see it, it's like that state is built off of just war and
Hmm.
like constant conflict in the region. That's just kind of how they feed off of like their economy and those sorts of stuff, right?
Like their strength is our weakness all the time. It
All the
always comes
time.
at our expense.
Yeah. And if the US now wants peace in the region and they want to work with like Syria and all these different Arab countries, it's like that's not beneficial towards Israel. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, and if the U.S. is trying to actually like calm down the Middle East, like Israel doesn't see a benefit to that, so they're going to try to find a way to stir up continuous conflict because that's the best way for them to thrive. Like, there's no. But have you read up on like the conflict in Halab right now?
yeah, I think this is what you got going on in the background. Is that what you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, no. Obviously, you can be completely open, but just like to open up the topic on the
Yeah,
most
yeah, yeah.
recent like events that. From what I understand, it's completely cleared now. Like Sheikh Maqsood is
It's
uh
fully cleared. I was a bit confused because I don't know when this happened, but I'm sure you heard of the government building that was struck
yeah,
like,
by a drone.
via drone. Yeah. So was this before or after Sheikh Maqsood was fully
Good
taken back?
question. I'm not sure. I was also confused too because they said that like over 100,000 people were displaced, but I also heard that like SDF wasn't allowing people to leave, and it was like, which is it? Like, are people leaving? Are people coming back? Are 100,000 people just going to the northeast now? Where do they go? So yeah,
These are
like,
the residents of the neighborhood?
I think so. Yeah, like because I saw pictures of a bunch of people fleeing and videos of people fleeing too, and like where were they going? Were they like I know there was a humanitarian corridor that led out of the neighborhoods, but
Hmm.
yeah, they compared it to the twin towers, but it was a tiny little like drone. It's not that big, but yeah.
Yeah, there were no casualties
Hmm.
or no one was injured either, so that's good.
But it's crazy
Um,
that the U.S. is still supporting them and paying their salaries and stuff. Like, what is their plan with the SDF? They've been obsolete since for years. Actually, it seems like they're just messing with Turkey at this point.
mhm. And I think that's like a really good like Turkey's honestly been like the big brother for Syria
Hmm.
during this past year because Turkey would never allow for an SDF state to be on their border.
Yeah.
Um, because obviously we both know that the SDF is essentially the PKK, like
Mhm.
inside of Syria, and they're lifelong enemies with Turkey as well. So for them
Mhm.
to actually go and establish like a state in Syria, this
Yeah.
is a massive threat to Turkey, especially with their
Yeah.
Kurdish diaspora.
And so,
And
what the hell is the USA doing, like supporting them? You know what I mean? That's such a like nobody talks about that. That a US,
but that's always the US
US
in the
and
Middle
Turkey
East.
are allies, and they're supporting like essentially, and even the USA like considers them a terrorist group, by the way, and the EU as well. And
And
yet they
that's the
support
idea
the
though.
SDF.
That's like the confusing part because it's like the SDF are allies to the US.
Mm.
And it's like, you know how they claim that we rebranded, like our new government rebranded from like Daesh
Yeah.
to
They've
whatever.
gone through millions of different names and abbreviations and letters,
And
and
that's like the funniest thing that they can say because the SDF is essentially rebranded PKK in Syria.
they
They
have
came from Jbal
YPG, and
Qandir.
they have SDC, and they have a million different ways that they
Yeah,
launder
bro.
their name.
And all of these groups, it's like as soon as one gets labeled as a terrorist group, they switch up. They
Mhm.
label it something different. So it's like
Or they
the
try to
whole thing is
like
just
every article too. Even journalists do it. Like they always write that it's just Turkey that considers them a terrorist group. Like no, it's like USA and EU consider them that too, and it's really frustrating. So I made like a couple of years ago when I was like seeing that in the media. Like I made some videos talking about this, and I like honestly I'm not someone who like is trying to defend Turkey in any way, but there's a huge like bias against Turkey in media, in my opinion. And
what are your thoughts on Turkey? Like the government?
uh, when like before Assad fell, I was like I think that they're a moderating influence. Like I was more leaning towards SNA than HTS. Because
Really?
I thought Turkey was like a good influence on our rebels because they would help them like build state institutions. Like, but I appreciated that they helped get electricity to be 24/7 in Idlib. Like they connected Idlib to the grid, the Turkish grid. So like I really
Mhm.
appreciated that and stuff. But yeah, no, I think they might actually be a little too tolerant of HTS now, and they might actually be a bad influence because like their country isn't very like Islamist. Like they have a democracy, they have like elections and stuff.
Right.
They're very like secular, you could say.
Hmm.
Whereas for us, like I don't know, we're trying to like find our own way as Syrians to have like a mix between secular and a Muslim identity because the majority of the population is Muslim, but like I was hoping to have more of a civil society, like the Salvation Government in Idlib. Like they kind of had I don't know, like they didn't really emphasize much on Islam and stuff. They were just technocrats, like that was the key word that I was hoping to hear a lot was he was hiring technocrats who are like well qualified and stuff like that. But yeah, no, he unfortunately like he still like he has his brothers in the government too, and uh, so yeah, there's concerns, but I'm keeping mostly quiet because I know that a lot of Syrians like him, and he set a date for when he like hopes to give up power, so we'll see on that date, in my opinion, like for a few years. I know you started asking about Turkey, but I ended up giving my opinion on Turkey and on Sharaa, but they kind of all like tie into each other.
No, for sure. For sure.
What about
Honestly,
you?
before Tahrir, like before Syria was liberated, I feel like there was a lot of mixed opinions, even like amongst Syrians when it came to the HTS, to Jolani, to the even the SNA.
Hmm.
I got a call here. Let me just close that. Best I feel like now, because here's what I always say, like during the war, it's one thing, and then now that they have leadership, it's a whole other thing, right?
Hmm.
Even the way they were moving, like we can't deny there were people inside of Idlib that were very anti Ahmed al-Shara
Hmm.
back then, right? But you have to keep in mind he was leading an area that was very dense.
Hmm.
I think there was like what 6 to 8 million people inside of Idlib, and and everyone's armed. So it's like to control such a dense, tight area
Yeah.
where there's so much going on and so much different influence, and you got Turkey, you got the SNA, you got the HTS. So it's like you have to kind of be the tough guy in that situation. But now that he's the leader of the entire country, I mean, I feel like what he's done to Syria within a year is like I don't think anyone else could have done it. To be honest with you, I think his politics is very, very patient and very, very smart even when it comes to the SDF, because a lot of people right now they're saying that now that Sheikh Maqsood and Ashrafiyeh are liberated, they're going to move on to Jazeera Al Arabiya, like
Yeah.
where the SDF is actually based, where most of their
Yeah.
military and strength is.
Yeah.
but I really don't think he will.
Yeah.
I think he wants international pressure to get rid of the SDF. He doesn't actually want to go full on war with them because it's not beneficial towards the country. Like there's going to be so many casualties.
Yeah.
Granted, so many other superpowers might get involved. Iran might get involved again with the SDF. I wouldn't be surprised if they're backing them right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just not beneficial, you know? So the guy, he's a very patient and tolerant guy.
Yeah, he's been pretty patient in my opinion too. Like he could have like, you know, focused on unifying Syria, but instead he just got straight to work in Damascus and focused on that instead. And I think that's a good idea. And like but like, and I think like Turkey's over his shoulder telling him like, yo, like do something. This is they shouldn't have power anymore and stuff. And he's telling them like, no, 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 chill, I got this, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think for now he just wants France and the US to kind of turn against them. And then once they stop receiving funding, they essentially have no choice but to get out of the country.
Yeah, but it's got to come to a head at some point. Like, what are they still doing paying their salaries? It makes no sense to me unless they want to like turn Syria into Iraq, like with KRI and have an autonomous state or whatever in the northeast.
I think there's a guy here in chat that wants to come up. Are you going to bring up any guests or?
No, I was just hoping it was just me and you and Lur and Yazan today. I don't
Okay, no worries.
like you guys can still talk in the chat and we'll answer the questions. But
So Hayyan, are you not pro Ahmed al-Sharaa?
yo, I have like some criticisms, but it's not really like my place at this point. I'm like who the hell am I, you know? And I think that a lot of Syrians like him, so I kind of keep them to myself. But yeah, like
Let's hear it though. What are your
he's not ideal at all to me. Like I think he should be way more open about what he, like about like his past and stuff. Because so far all we know is that he was like he said oh like I was just young and I was a kid and stuff, but I think like people want more than that. And that's just one part of it, but also like did you hear about how like Bilal Abdul Karim was arrested?
I'm not familiar with who that is.
Okay, yeah, like he's a journalist. Like I don't really like necessarily like him, but you know he's arresting a journalist, and I heard like, and I know that like NGOs, he was pretty open with them in Idlib, but now he's kind of like if they're even though like obviously like I don't agree with them, but they should be able to operate freely in Syria. You know, like the ones that are like that sprung up after Tahrir that are all like about minorities and stuff like that, and they're trying to document stuff, and they've said that they've had difficulties trying to investigate and remember when, like the reports about the kidnapped women and all that stuff, and how the ministry just said it was like one of them was actually real and the rest were all like fake news. Yeah, like I mean I appreciate that they even did a press conference for that, but I don't know, it felt like they could have done more. And um yeah, like also the appointment of SNA leaders and HTS leaders. I know that it's a balancing act, but it's also not a good look to be hiring like a lot of people that I think he like owes favors to, and that's why he put them there. So like he
Like
like
Abu
I said,
Amsha, like giving him the
yeah, stuff like that. Like I think
64th
that's
Division, I think it was.
sorry.
He's now the military general of the 64th Division. Like he went from leading the
Yeah.
SNA to now leading like the main military.
Yeah, so I think that's like operating on like favors or like who he owes something to, rather than stuff like who's most qualified or like most yeah, who's best fit to lead.
You know, I can agree with a lot of what you're saying for sure, but I feel like these are all very minor.
Exactly. That's why like I don't make it my identity to go around and like talk about this stuff or
Is there
whatever.
anything major that he's done that you're just not very happy with?
No, like cause I defend him when people say like he's sectarian or something. Like I think he's actually been very moderate or whatever people want to use, whatever word people want to use, cause like you know he could have been from day one, I don't know, like crazy, you know, Salafist or something. But I know he's pissed off a lot of Salafists from his approach. So
I think he's pissed off like essentially almost everyone in Syria at one point.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone
And
has
that's the issue, bro. I think that's the main challenge that we have today as like the new leadership. because with all these different militias and all these different opinions inside the country, and even though we were all anti-Bashar and we all hated the Assad regime, it's like everyone has a different vision for Syria and for the future of Syria. And when someone like Sharaa comes in with his past and with what he's done, everyone was expecting the country to head in one direction. And then it seems like he's trying to just take everyone's opinions into consideration and whatnot, while making sure that his people are in control. So it's a difficult position to be in. But I don't know. I feel like he's doing a good job, and
yeah, no one said what he's doing is easy at all. I don't envy him whatsoever, for sure. But I do think like he is a little obsessed with like putting himself in the position of power. Like, a good part of being a leader is knowing how to delegate and give authority to other people, and I don't think he's done that very well.
That is true, but also the biggest threat that he faces and his government faces right now is internal. If anything were to happen to Ahmed al-Sharaa, it would be like his own group, like his inner circle would, turn against him. So, which is literally what happened to Syria with like during when Hafiz sprung up, right? So I feel like he's very wary right now of who to trust, who to put in positions of power, who can be within his inner circle, because he can be gone at any given minute. Like his safety is not guaranteed.
Absolutely. But that's, it comes with a lot of costs too, because we're kind of still under martial law, basically. We're making a lot of temporary exceptions for special circumstances, and that's only gonna cut it for so long. Eventually people will be fed up, and we're not there yet, hopefully, like inshallah, although a lot of people like are, but they're still a minority for sure. Actually, we can open it up if you guys like. Someone asked you.
Oh, I'm not even paying attention to chat.
Yeah, way Husam, bro, did our army take Sheikh Maqsood fully? If there's someone that's asking to come up, like, yeah, let me know.
I know Muhammad. I don't know if Muhammad, if you want to come up. Like I know him personally. We've messaged before.
Okay, sure.
I don't actually have access to who's in here and who's not in here. I don't think. Oh, never mind. I do.
No, I just meant like if they're chatting, if they're like the guy saying, "Let me rise." Can I rise for a bit? So, does most of your content just consist of like putting captions on top of like the screen and? When I came back now, like, because I've been doing it since like the pandemic, and right. I like when I first started, I was going like I was just seeing whatever was a trend, and I would just make it apply to Syria, and right. then I kind of went into more short, like 1 minute, like rant style, like information, very quick, and then but like high effort kind of content doesn't really go.
Doesn't perform well.
So now I just like once I came back like recently, because I saw you and I saw Yazan and I saw Lur, like you guys were popping off and doing good work. And I thought like, because I've been banned like 5 times, like I've had different accounts before, and
oh damn,
they all disappear every time, and so I kind of gave up on TikTok and just tried to focus on YouTube, like long form content. And then now when I came back, I looked at little kids like just putting captions on stuff and walking away, and then coming back, and like it was getting like thousands of views.
There was more traction.
So, whatever, I'll just do that. I'll just make a long text 6-second video, done.
Right. I mean, it's weird with TikTok. You kind of have to. I still don't know how the algorithm works, to be honest.
Yeah.
And like because I've had videos where I've put in like a lot of research and like effort, and I said some like good stuff,
Yeah.
Gave like some pretty good insight on like my opinions on things, and I noticed they don't perform very well. But when you go on and like, you make like a 30-second clip and you just kind of talk smack or whatever, those are the videos that do well, and those are the videos that people actually watch. So
and you got in some beef with that guy, man. Yo,
the Hassan guy.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're so patient for that guy. Like I could never, like I can't even, people like that, like I just dismiss them.
I've had so many people send me clips from his live where he's just talking smack about me, like the entire, like half of his live. And he's talking about Syria and Sharaa and all that stuff. And then it's weird because I'm like, bro, if you have such a strong opinion, then let's just debate about it. Pick a topic. I'll let you choose a topic. Take your time, research it, do what you got to do. Let's go on. Let's discuss it, right? In a respectful, like, civil way.
Yeah.
But the guy's a joke, bro. He's just rage baiting at this point. I don't think he's serious.
Yeah. And like, yeah, in that debate, like, it wouldn't really work because, like, he has sources that tell him one thing and you have sources that tell you one thing. Like, and your sources are, like, I agree with your sources because they're probably the right ones, but his sources, like, there's a whole network of Iranian and Lebanese networks that, like, do, like, journalism, and Russia and China and, like, Venezuela and, like, all these different state-owned networks that support each other to seem like they have credible reporting, but they're all, like, bogus, but people believe them because it's like, oh, anti-imperialist media or whatever.
That's another thing, actually. That's a whole other conversation where any country that's kind of anti-West, anti-US, people view it as, like, some sort of heroic,
exactly,
like, country that's
Yep.
that's pushing the truth, and they're pro-Palestine. Like, even Iran's a big one, right?
Of course, yeah, exactly.
Every country, I feel like Iran's politics are a complete mess. They come into a country, they push their religious ideologies, they try to change the demographic, they get into your economy, into, like, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the proof that Iran's politics is such a fail is all the countries that they've actually entered, like Syria, Lebanon. Every country they've actually influenced and been a part of ended up a disaster. So their politics, it can't work. And it's backfiring now more than ever when it comes to, have you seen, like, the protests going on and everything?
Yeah, I have, yeah. I'm praying for them, man. I don't see any good outcome for them, to be honest. Like, you just run through the scenarios in your head and it's like, what possible good outcome is there?
It's a lose-lose situation for them.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Like, as much as I hate the Khamenei, like, the supreme leader and whatnot, the IRGC, it's like, is the Shah really a better option for them right now? Or even for the region as a whole? It's like, definitely not. So it's like,
yeah. But at least it'll mean, like, hopefully they pull out of Iraq and Yemen and stop taking over Lebanon and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if the IRGC falls, then all these other little proxies are, like, there's no one to back them anymore. So they're going to crumble as well. Like, they're definitely going to follow.
Some crazy stuff's been happening in Yemen. I haven't been following up with it, but, like, Saudi and UAE are fighting over it or something.
Yeah, I haven't really kept up with that, to be honest with you. What do you think is going to happen now with the SDF? Like, now that they got back the two neighborhoods, do you think it's going to stop? Is there going to be a ceasefire agreement?
Yeah, I think, like you said, they're, like, he's patient, and so is Mazloum, honestly. Like, SDF's strategy is a lot like Assad's, to just wait out everyone and hope that you end up the last one standing. And Sharaa is, like, I think his strategy is, like, don't do anything too soon, don't do anything you'll regret. Very careful, very, like, please as many people as possible, like, the greatest good for the greatest number of people kind of guy. Like, he's not really like, that's another criticism that I shared when I talked about the money. Like, I feel like he's really just pleasing like, he's trying to please everyone. I know, like, no matter what he does, he'll get criticized, but at some point, like, you kind of have to take a direction or take a stance or have an identity or something. But, like, yeah, I would be worried to find out if his identity is actually, like, something even worse or something. But
are you wary of him at all?
Sorry?
Are you wary of him at all? Like, with his past and everything and how he got into power, like, are you?
No, I think he's smart enough to not do anything, like, too stupid, but I do think, like, if there was ever an opposition party to form or something, like, he might crack down on them or something. Yeah. No, but I think, like, yeah, like, the money stuff, like, he could have, gotten, yeah, like, he doesn't want to delegate very much, but, like, he could have gotten a committee or something to determine, like, who the best revolutionary leaders were that should be put on the money, and like, a Kurdish leader, like, obviously, what's his name? Abdel Basit Sarut, yeah.
Abdel Basit, yeah. Or even like Salah ad-Din, since he was like a Kurdish figure.
Yeah, exactly. Like anyone, you know, like just
But
stuff
you know,
like
they
that.
tried to keep it away from like political imagery as much as possible.
Yeah,
And I
but we
think,
need to have an identity. We need to like because we just got out of the revolution. Like, why not have revolutionary figures that we're looking up to and that we can rally around? Better than like it's okay, don't have your face on it. That's good, but put like fallen heroes or people that we can identify with.
well,
Like,
there's a lot of,
you
right.
know, my scarf. You know, like what's their names? Like you know, my scarf, right?
I do not know.
Yeah, she was. I think she was an Alawite actress that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah, I heard of her. The,
yeah,
the,
like
the
she
thing
was.
is, the thing is with all these different figures, even Abdul Basit, like he's the most famous one, right? He's like the
Yeah,
most notable one.
yeah.
There's still controversy like surrounding those
Too
figures,
bad. Like
right?
that's the thing is he. That's what I'm
And some of
saying.
his songs, and you know, people will say, oh, you
I
know,
know. I
he
know.
used some sectarianism in
I
his music
understand,
and
bro.
whatnot. So it's like,
I said that at the beginning. I was like, I said
I,
like he's no matter what he does, he'll be criticized. But I
no,
think you
but
should
what I'm
just
saying
take the
is,
stance, like be
right,
bold and take the stance. It's okay to be criticized, but actually, like,
like stand on business.
yeah, exactly. I'll respect you for standing on business, even if it's like not the right decision. Just have an identity. Don't just try to please everyone all the time. It's like
Mhm.
I like that he's careful, but he's like playing it way too safe sometimes. Like with the money, you know, like it's we wouldn't have rioted
Yeah.
over money. That was a very easy thing that he could have shown us like an identity or like something about him or like no, but we got like fruits and stuff. It's kind
We
of
got fruits and vegetables.
yeah, it's kind of weird. Whatever,
Yeah.
bro. It's not like I said, like my criticisms aren't. But this is okay. It's like people are like oh like sensitive to you even criticizing him, but it's okay to just like have a conversation about like oh I think he could have done this better, could have done that better, even if it's like very inconsequential. Like that's what we fought for, bro.
I think, bro, like my opinion is right now is a very sensitive time for the country. Like, and there's so many enemies. A lot of people are just, there's so much misinformation being spread about Syria. So he
Yeah,
needs some sort of support system, right? Like
yeah,
from his people. And I think right now isn't the best time to criticize them only because, like, I'm going to support them, you know, unless they do something like absolutely crazy that I'm completely
yeah,
against. I do think they need like dam and support only because the amount of misinformation and people that are attacking them right now,
yeah.
it's very sensitive where it's like again, I don't envy their position
There's so many
and
liars and
and there's so
bogus
many
journalists.
liars, so many and they're all working at the end of the day to divide Syria, to corrupt it, to distort its internal affairs and whatnot. So there needs to be some sort of support
He
and
needs
dam being
dam,
put
but
to
not table though. You know, like not like straight up bootlicking too. And I feel like we like for the revolution when Assad was in power, like we had to kind of hold our own and not criticize the rebels too much.
but
And
do you
now
see
that
it as
like
bootlicking? Like do you see
you know
support
tablet, you know like
Tatbeel, yeah, I know what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that's what I mean, bro. People are tatbiling. Like a lot of them are. Did you see that
Tatbeel.
little girl? Like it started off really cute, but she's gone too far now, man. You know the little girl, Gaizat?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, bro. She's like straight up. Like
That was a bit weird, can't lie.
yeah, man. Exactly. It's going too far, man. And no, like, and I think like, listen, me and you were having a conversation. I know like we agree on a lot of different things, and so that's why I'm going off on him like with you because I know like you know I'm not coming from like bad faith, and I'm not like I don't have an agenda, and I know you like you're not gonna take what I'm saying and try to use it in bad faith.
Absolutely, but what the point that I'm trying to make is they're going to use that to feed into their own narratives that they're pushing. That's all anti-government, anti-Ahmed al-Shara, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like the eyes right now, there's so many eyes on us. And it's you
yeah,
want to be careful with what you say, what you put out there because it can be used against you. It's
yeah.
it's a very complicated and difficult position to be in. And again, I don't envy his position at all. But the guy's patient, the guy's smart, you know.
Yeah.
And I think
Did you read about like the Damascus Spring, the time when like people were holding just discussions, like conversations in like coffee shops or whatever?
what about it?
Like you know, Syria hasn't had a lot of time to just have a political identity and talk about politics and what they agree and what they don't agree on.
This was during the Arab Spring you said?
No, Damascus Spring. So it was like 2000, I think 2000. Literally like when Hafiz fell and Bashar came in.
Right.
There was like a brief period of time that there was a little bit of political activity, and people thought that he was going to open up the country and
Yeah,
uh,
allow for that discourse?
Yeah. So like there was rooms that they would like actually hold civil discourse, probably not even criticizing Bashar, just like talking about civil society matters and stuff.
Right.
But then eventually they were all arrested, of course.
Yeah, as we expect.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I think like now is that time for us to just explore like what our rights are and see what the limits are and hopefully push the because power will not give you anything without you asking for it. And so we have to push what we're allowed to do. Like we even if he is not doing anything wrong, like there should be an opposition party, in my opinion, to just like at least in the parliament just always be critical of him, but in a like balanced and respectful ways because it's a parliament, you know, and they should be televised and people are.
No, I agree.
SDF. Are
Mhm.
they like Kurdish or are they a Syrian opposition? Are
They're
they
Kurdish led, but they're
Kurdish?
mostly Arabs.
They're not mostly Arab. There are Arabs that are part of their
No,
army,
bro,
but
they're mostly Arab because they're 70% Arab because they conscript, right? So if you're under their territory, you have to you're like under their law, like you have to serve military, and most of their
Yeah.
population is Arab.
is it mandatory service? Is that how that works with them? Because what I was told is they pay pretty high salaries, and a lot of the people are just persuaded because of the money. It's like what, like 400 USD a month? Is it mandatory service? Is that how it works with the
Yeah,
SDF?
bro. Mandatory conscription, even worse than in Assad, like because Assad, like
What?
you could pay and you don't have to serve. But in SDF, that's not an option. You have to serve, and they kidnap you if you don't show up.
Okay, well then that makes sense why their army's mostly Arab.
Exactly. Yeah. So the majority is Arab, and they say that as if it's like a flex. This
Yeah,
behavior is not in
like
line
you
with our
guys,
policy.
you guys don't know how to rule yourselves, so you need Kurds to rule you or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, it's Kurdish led for sure, and it's being funded by the PKK
Mhm.
and like all those, you know, Kurdish groups. So.